Oh, it was great catching up with the next guest, Jared Gordon, who is doesn't have a fight book, but we're happy to catch up with him here and talk about a lot of different topics. But first, Jared, how are you, man? How's everything going?
I'm doing well. Same old, enjoying the warm Florida weather and just doing what I do.
Yeah, working the grind, as they say, so to speak. Before we get into you, I wanted to get your thoughts quickly on your good friend Paul Felder, retired over the weekend. Were you expecting that, or did that kind of come out of the blue for you?
He told me he was going to retire, and he was going to make an announcement during the card.
So you were in on all this. You knew before everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it a lot for the last couple of months,
Right. And
so I thought he was on the fence. I thought he would fight again, but, he decided that his time has come. That you've seen fighters retire before and then come back. So you never know, if he gets offered something maybe, or if
we'll see. Well, he's got a good gig, right? He's got the broadcasting gig with the UFC. And I know he has other stuff outside the cage as well. So It's understandable for him that, hey, look, he's probably, looking and saying, I don't want to, like he sort of said on Saturday, I don't want to be on the highlight reel of some up and comer, right? So he's being smart about it. It's very rare for a fighter to walk away at the right time, right?
Yeah, I think he's also had a lot of, over the years, surgeries and injuries. Spends, a lot of times when he fights, he spends time in the hospital after the fight. So, and he's got a daughter. He's not like 32 years old. I think he's turning 37, or he just turned 37. So, and yeah, he's got a great job. It's not like he has to fight for money. So, I think it's smart.
Favorite Paul Felder memory? I mean, you know him better than most. I mean, for me, it's got to be the Danny Castillo knockout, the spinning back fist. But what stands out for you?
So, like, memory, like, of him fighting.
It could be fighting, could be anything. That's why we got you here. We get some inside scoop as well,
I mean, my favorite fight of his, even though he lost, was the Hooker fight. I thought he won. I think if he was anywhere else besides New Zealand, they would have gave it to him. I'm not taking anything away from Dan, because he put on a hell of a fight as well.
Yeah, very close fight, yeah.
He's a great fighter. But that was like, I was really proud of him. And, taking on RDA on 5-day notice was super, that's what fighters do, right? And he was in shape and he did it, and, he lost, but, it was still a win in my eyes. But outside of the cage, I think, like, when we tricked him we introduced him to that quote unquote sheik or prince of Abu Dhabi.
Right. Yeah. I remember that.
He was like, I was like, Bilal was like, oh, you got to kiss his hand.
That was good. Yeah.
Like,
no, I forgot about that, actually.
Literally, like, he was like, are you serious?
Yeah. No,
that was great.
That was awesome. Now back to you. I know you don't have a fight book, coming off a nice win in your last fight. When are you sort of looking to get back in there? Do you have sort of a timeline of when you'd like to have your next fight?
I've been asking, and I'm watching guys get fights every day. I think it's partly my fault because I missed weight. So I don't know if it's like they're not sure where to put me, like back at 55, or if they're going to keep me at 45. And, so I take a lot of I take responsibility. I think I should, I could have fought already. And I've been training like I have a fight coming up, I'm in shape and I'm ready to go. But, it's not, for me, it's on God's time. I believe that, he's never too late and never too early. So, I'm just I got a lot of things going on right now too in my personal life, good things. So I've been busy and, I'm not rushing anything. And, I want to fight though. So I'm just waiting to hear.
See, that's weird to me because you made weight like on Fight Island, which to me would be even worse circumstances when you fought Fishgold, right? So that's one of those things where I think they got to look at that. I mean, I know it didn't go well in the last fight, but still, I mean, the fact that we know you can make weight even under the worst circumstances. So,
and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I made 45 on the dot that fight.
Exactly.
And then this, I don't know what happened. But if they let me stay at 45, I'm gonna just have someone live with me for the last 4 or 5 weeks of camp, just so I know I'm dialed in and I'm not, because if it's up to me, like I'm not gonna lie, all right, I'm hungry, I'll eat a little extra. And then, all that adds up day after day. And then all of a sudden, but it was weird though, because I was on schedule just like I was for the Fishgold fight. And then I just stopped sweating. So circumstances were different, obviously. But I don't know. I make mistakes. I'm a human. And I know it's not professional. And I felt like an ass missing weight. And I felt terrible, and I was so down on myself. I'm still down on myself over it. But, I'm still learning, I guess. So, I'm just trying to take everything with stride and keep improving.
Yeah, just keep it positive. I'm sure something will come up soon. But hopefully that's not the reason you haven't been booked. Maybe it's just they're trying to back up some of those COVID fights or whatever. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We don't have a UFC card this weekend. We've got one next week. But I actually wanted to talk to you a little bit about the UFC 263 card that's coming up here. There's a couple interesting fights I wanted to get your thoughts on. So we've got Leon Edwards taking on Nate Diaz. Right now, Leon Edwards, minus 450 favorite on Fanduel against Nate Diaz, who's plus 340. Who do you like in that fight? Because that's some pretty crazy odds on that one.
I mean, I think Leon's going to win as well. He's just so sharp and durable, and he's in shape, and it's not like it's not a 5-round fight. If it was 5 rounds, maybe I think the odds would be a little more in Diaz's favor as well, because he's a marathon guy. He's not a sprinter, so I think. But given that it's 3 rounds and the way Leon looks and the last time Diaz has fought, I got to give it to Leon.
Okay. And then obviously the flyweight title fight, we got Davison Figueiredo, minus 250 against Brandon Moreno, plus 205. Who do you like in that one?
I mean, on paper, I got to give it to Figueiredo, but Moreno is one tough cookie, and he did great in the last one. So I think, I'm not going to say it's a pick'em fight. I think the odds are definitely, probably like minus 180 for. Was that what was it? What did you? It was
minus 250 for Figueiredo, so he's almost 3-1 favorite.
I think it's going to go a little. By the time the fight comes, it will be less than that, like minus 180, 170. But it's a great fight. I got to give it to Figueiredo though.
Okay. And then obviously the main event of that card, Israel Adesanya, Marvin Vettori, the rematch. Of course, their first fight was a split decision win for Izzy. Izzy minus 275, Marvin Vettori plus 220. Who you like in there?
So, I mean, we see where Israel obviously is not as great of a grappler as he is a striker. And granted, Jan was way bigger than Izzy, and when he took him down, Izzy just couldn't get up. I think that Vettori is definitely bigger, heavier than Izzy, but let's see if he can get him down and hold him down. I think he's definitely way better than he was when he fought him. Marvin is better grappler now than he was then. So I think if he takes him down, that he could win this fight. It's 5 rounds, and Izzy can finish you at any moment. So I'm leaning towards Izzy, but I think it's going to be a more competitive fight than the first one.
What's the rest of your week look like? You said you're kind of training like you have a fight coming up. So what does your routine look like going forward until you're waiting for that next fight?
So like the last couple of weeks, I was sparring a lot. I've dialed back on the sparring because there's no reason for me to get hurt and punched for nothing. But I'm running. I'm at my strength coach's gym right now, Felder.
Oh, the best in the business. Man, does Phil ever do some good work. It's cool to see him have a lot of success with you guys.
Yeah, I'm about to train with him. And tonight, probably do some pads, some wrestling, drilling. But I've been training like I got to fight. And I feel great. But the rest of my week is basically the same. I actually made a commitment, though, with I was hired by a drug treatment center to be kind of like their brand ambassador. So
awesome.
I've been working a lot with the clients there, like going in, talking to them, just like showing my face and trying to give hope to, people that are, suffering with addiction right now. So it's good though. I need something to take my mind off of fighting, because I'll just fight all day long and then I drive myself crazy. So I've been pretty busy with that, a couple other things, but I think me and my girl are going to go down to Miami for the weekend, just take a break. Cause she's been working like a dog. Her business, she runs like 2 businesses. She's a landlord, so she's all over the place, and she's like burnt out. So take her down there, stay at some nice hotel somewhere, get a break.
Well, I don't want you to be late for Phil's workout. I know how important those are. Jared, thanks so much for doing this, man. Anything you want to plug, any social media, sponsors, anything like that, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, Sanford MMA, best gym right now. It's like home for me right now. All my coaches, but So Right, Virus, and Death Wish Coffee.